One day, a disciple of Buddha, "Dear Buddha, I know that anger helps nothing, that loving the wrong person is just self-inflicted pain, that fear, anxiety, and jealousy are all meaningless. I know all of this, but I still cannot stop. Why is reason so weak against emotion?" The Buddha, "My child, you have spoken the truth that every being on this earth carries in their heart. You see the light of reason, but you are pulled into the darkness of emotion. You want to change, but your body does not obey. Listen to me now. Reason is the voice of the mind, and emotion is the cry of the soul. The voice can be learned, taught, and changed in every lifetime, but the cry was born with you from countless previous lives. When you stand at a crossroads, you feel torn apart. That struggle is not a war. It is a confusion of time and space. Reason belongs to the future. You wish to create. And emotion belongs to the past. You have not yet released. You ask why reason always loses. The answer is not in weakness, but in the priority you have unknowingly given. Let us go deep into this journey together to understand the nature of these two companions of yours. My child, close your eyes and go back to the beginning. When humans were a lonely figure deep in the wild forest. Reason or thinking was born as a guard. It was born for survival. Reason helped you calculate which fruit was safe to eat, which animal to avoid, or where to build a safe shelter. It is the best tool to analyze and plan for a tomorrow where you can still live. Reason tells you, survive, be safe, accumulate. It is the God of correctness and order. However, emotion did not need any analysis to exist. Emotion was present even before humans knew the word calculate. It was not born to survive alone, but to connect. Fear immediately tells you to run without needing to think about logic. Love tells you to protect your loved ones. Even if it puts you in danger. It is the invisible thread that connects you to your kind, to Mother Earth, to the river. When reason roars, survive, emotion whispers, be loved, belong. Reason speaks in numbers and laws. Emotion speaks in vibrations. The issue is not who is stronger, but who is older. Emotion carries millions of years of your ancestors' life and death experience, while reason is just a child, learning to speak in that stream of time. Because of this ancientness and deep root, emotion has the power to shake your body more strongly than any sound advice. Do not blame reason for being weak. Instead, see the truth. It has only just begun to learn to talk with an old, wise, and powerful being that is emotion. My child, remember that the universe does not need you to understand. For you to exist, emotion was present. Even before humans knew how to use stone to make fire, before they knew how to use sound to call each other's names, it was there when you were still a small cell. Inside your mother's womb. You already knew how to vibrate. To feel safety or danger. Emotion does not need to be taught. It only needs to be activated. Look at a newborn baby. It does not know logic, but it knows fear when it hears a loud noise. It knows love and safety when held by its mother. It knows anger when hungry. These emotions are the primal language, the survival instinct deeply etched into your nervous system. They are the legacy, the memory stored over millions of generations. The mind, or reason, needs time. You must learn to write. You must be taught to calculate. You must hear advice to know how to behave. It is a process that costs energy, requires focus, and sometimes even pain to remember. For that reason, emotion is always the first to arrive when a situation occurs. Emotion does not need to sit down and analyze. Should I be sad? It instantly flares up like a fire. Your heart, or your emotional center, works faster than any computer you have ever created. It receives signals from the environment, compares them to primal memories, and immediately commands your body to react, fight, flee, or embrace. The reason is only the latecomer. When reason appears, emotion has already completed its mission. Reason must use all its strength to clean up the mess caused by emotion, or to try to explain why you reacted that way. Your problem is not how to make reason win dot. It is how to make reason learn the language of the heart dot so that both sides can talk before acting. Asterisk. My child, reason and emotion differ in how they store and transmit information. Reason speaks to you in words, in language, in structured sentences. If A is true, then B is false. Because you shouldn't love that person, you must stay away. These words are easy to understand, easy to record, but also easy to forget or reject. In contrast, emotion does not speak in words. It speaks in memory. Every tightly reasoned argument can be shattered by a single old image in your heart, a passing scent in the air, or a familiar sound. You're meditating and reason tells you, be still. You understand that. But then, suddenly, a smell of the cake your mother used to make drifts past. Instantly, the stillness breaks. Your tears may fall, not because of any logic, but because a whole sky of childhood memories has been opened in a moment. That is where emotion has absolute power. Emotion is deeply engraved in your body. Tied to your senses, a small vibration from outside activates an immense treasure of emotion. You do not need to remember why you are sad. You only need to feel the sadness. Reason needs your consent to operate. Emotion only needs activation. You can spend a lifetime arguing. That fear is irrational. But when you face a situation that recalls an old trauma, your reason will fall silent. Instead, your whole body suddenly becomes tense, your heart races, and you become the frightened child of the past without needing any words. So do not try to use the words of reason. To fight the memory of emotion, you need to use the light of understanding to illuminate that picture when you clearly see every detail of the memory. With a gentle soul, the picture will slowly dissolve, and the emotion will no longer cling to you. My child, you often think that emotion is in your head, a product of thought, but that is not true. Emotion is not in the head. It is in your heartbeat, in your breath, in the tension of your muscles. Observe an angry person. Their reason may know that they are behaving incorrectly, but their body does not obey. Their face is hot, their teeth are clenched, their shoulders are hunched, as if preparing to fight. That is where emotion resides. Emotion is recorded in your body, like detailed map of every experience from childhood until now. When you suffer a painful experience, your body records that feeling, not with words, but with contraction. That contraction becomes a physical habit, a defensive posture. Whenever a similar situation occurs in the future, your body, without waiting for a command from reason, will instantly replay that state of contraction. That is why you feel anxious for no reason. Your heart pounds or you have difficulty breathing because your body is remembering an old fear. So your reason only knows information, knowledge, while emotion remembers physical experience. Reasons can be learned that fire is hot, but emotion only truly knows it when your finger touches the fire. Emotion is the truth experienced in flesh and blood. When you try to use reason to change emotion, you are using an abstract idea, words, against a physical event, contraction, heartbeat. It is an uneven fight, and reason is often the loser. To truly release an emotion, you not only need to change your thoughts, you also need to change how your body is holding on to that pain. This physical awareness is the true light. When you look at that tension gently, without judgment, your body will feel heard. And when the body no longer needs to remember, the tension will slowly release. The emotion will vanish with it. My child, many people in this world believe they are living a strong, independent, and rational life. But I see a different truth. People think they are strong, but they are actually carrying an old fear in a different form. Every unresolved emotion, every pain not cried out, does not disappear. It only changes shape and becomes a part of your character, a habit of life, a person abandoned as a child. That pain does not vanish. It may turn into excessive control over everything around them as an adult. because they fear being abandoned again. That control is rationalized as I am responsible, but its root is still an old fear, another person insulted in childhood. The unreleased anger turns into arrogance and aggression when grown-up they always need to win, always need to be right, to hide the frightened child inside from being insulted again. Their reason justifies, I am the best, but that is only an armor covering an old wound. Do you see? Your reason is serving the trapped emotions. It creates complex masks to hide simple wounds. These very habits of life are why your reason always loses, because reason is not fighting emotion. It is protecting emotion. When you try to use reason to stop being angry, you are trying to break the mask, but because you have not healed the wound underneath, emotion will not allow reason to succeed. To change, you need to do one simple thing. Allow the old pain to be cried out. Just sit down and tell that pain, I see you. I know you are afraid. I allow you to dissolve now. When pain is acknowledged and allowed to pass, it will no longer need to disguise itself as a habit of life. And then your reason will truly be freed to do its genuine job, to guide you with truth, not with fear. My child, this is the greatest mistake that humans often make, using reason to control emotion. You often think that if emotion is the enemy, then reason must be the general in control. You try to force yourself to calm down, to stop thinking, or not to cry. That is like trying to hold water in the palm of your hand. The more you try to compress it, the more it swells, the tighter you clench, the more it leaks through your fingers. Emotion is the same. The more you try to suppress it with reason, the more energy it accumulates, waiting for a chance to explode even stronger. When you tell yourself, I must not be angry, that very statement creates two parts in you. One part is the controller, reason, and one part is the controlled emotion. You have created an unnecessary internal war, and that war always causes tension, draining your life energy. Furthermore, when reason tries to control, it is denying the existence of emotion. It says, this emotion is wrong, irrational, bad. But emotion, whether it is anger or fear, is only a message. It is a messenger bringing news. When you try to control it, you are trying to kill the messenger without hearing the warning. So what is the right method? It is gentle acceptance. Reason should not be the controller, but the observer. When a strong emotion arises, instead of using reason to scold it, you only need to use reason to look at it. Reason should say, anger is present. I see it making my heart race. I allow it to exist right now without having to act on it. Control is action by force. Observation is action by light. The light of awareness will not suppress emotion. It will melt it, just as sunlight melts the ice. My child, reason is a wonderful tool for solving external problems, but sometimes it becomes an invisible guard, preventing you from contacting the inner truth. When emotion is too big, too painful, humans often use reason to build a perfect wall around themselves. That wall is decorated with phrases like, I'm fine. That is the most rational lie in the world. When you say, I'm fine, your reason is performing a rescue mission. Is trying to protect you from having to face the fear, the sadness, or the loneliness that truly exists. You make excuses about being busy. You throw yourself into work, into social relationships, into studying, or any activity that can keep your mind thinking. You use logic and busyness to avoid stillness. But emotion, my child, is never fooled by the lies of reason. Emotion does not need your approval to exist. It knows exactly how you feel, no matter how hard you try to hide it, and it only needs to wait. It only waits until you are alone. When you close the door, when you turn off all the lights, when you lay your body down in bed, and all external distractions have ceased, emotion will return. The tears that did not fall when you were in the crowd will pour out when you are alone. The fear you avoided during the day will return to haunt you in long nights of insomnia. This avoidance is not liberation. It is delayed. You use reason to create a life that appears perfect and rational on the surface. But beneath that surface is an ocean of unaccepted emotion, constantly screaming to be heard. So stop using reason to run away. Use reason to guide you back home, back to yourself. When reason becomes a companion, not a guard. It will help you open the door for emotion to exit. And when emotion is respected, it will no longer need to break down all the order you worked so hard to build. Asterisk, my child. Remember this. Every intense emotion is a misunderstood message. Anger, jealousy, fear, anxiety, these emotions are not demons that need to be destroyed. In truth, they are only a cry for recognition. Imagine emotion as a child inside you. When that child is sad or afraid, if you ignore it, what will it do? It will cry louder, scream louder, or throw things around to get your attention. Your emotion works similarly. When a small fear creeps into your heart and you use reason to dismiss it, you have no reason to be afraid. That fear will not disappear. It will turn into a bigger panic attack. It will use anxiety to force you to pay attention to it, to force you to stop all activities and listen to the inner voice. Anger is also the same. It is often a cover for deeper hurt. When you are treated unfairly and you do not allow yourself to feel hurt, that pain will turn into anger. Anger roars, I am being violated. Protect me. Emotion does not need to be extinguished. It only needs to be named correctly. This is where reason can cooperate compassionately. Instead of judging, reason should become the translator. When you feel discomfort, use reason to ask, what is behind this discomfort? Is it disappointment because an expectation was not met? Or is it sadness because you feel unloved? When you name it accurately, not I am angry, but I feel hurt by that word, the emotion will immediately calm down. It feels that its mission to deliver the message is complete. Reason does not need to teach emotion how to act. Reason only needs to teach you how to listen to emotion. When you accept the message, the child inside you will be silent. My child, you have asked about the war between reason and emotion, but I tell you that from the beginning. Your mind was not divided into two. Reason and emotion are not two enemies fighting for a throne in your body. They are two arms of the same body. They are two functions of the same consciousness. Both are essential for you to live fully and awaken. Imagine reason as a torch, letting the way. Is the ability to discern, the ability to analyze, the ability to see the impermanence of all things. Thanks to it, you are not lost in the darkness of ignorance. You know what is good, what is bad, what is the path to liberation. It is necessary for direction. And emotion. It is the ability to embrace the world. It is compassion. It is love. It is the ability to feel the pain and joy of others as your own. Without emotion, you can go the right way, but you will go rigidly, coldly. Without connection to all things. It is necessary for connection. If you only use reason to walk, you will go very fast, very accurately. But you will find yourself lonely and empty. If you only use emotion to walk, you will embrace everyone with love, but you will be swept away into the vortex of suffering and disappointment because you lack the ability to discern. To steady yourself. Both need each other. To achieve true freedom. Reason needs the warmth of emotion so as not to become cruel. Emotion needs the clarity of reason so as not to become blind. When you stop this internal war, you will see a wonderful harmony. Wisdom, reason that has been purified, will hold the torch. And compassion, emotion that has been purified, will embrace the world. Your task is not to eliminate one of them, but to harmonize them. Let reason teach you how to see clearly, and let emotion teach you how to love unconditionally. My child. In this modern world, humans often place reason as the supreme God. You believe that every problem can be solved with logic, with data, with analysis. When you only believe in reason, You will live an accurate life, but a dry one. You may have a perfect plan for your life, which school to attend, what job to do, whom to marry. Based on the most reasonable criteria, you will rarely make mistakes. You will always be on time. But in that accuracy, something is lost. Liveliness. You will become afraid of the unexpected. Afraid of things that cannot be calculated. Love will be measured by benefit. Sadness will be rejected, because it has no clear reason. In the end, you will feel lonely, even in a crowd, because your heart has been frozen in a layer of perfect logic. Conversely, when you only believe in emotion, you will live a complete life, but one that is easily drowned. You will be passionate in love, easily moved to tears by the beauty of a flower, and always act on instinct. Your life will be colorful, dramatic, and full of explosive moments, but that immersion will also bring suffering. You will be easily deceived by momentary, emotional illusions, easily fall into the abyss of despair. When things do not go as planned, you will act recklessly, causing harm to yourself and others. Neither is a perfect solution if standing alone. Both need each other to be free. Freedom is the ability to choose whom to listen to in every moment, without being bound by habit. Reason brings stability. Emotion brings meaning. Only when you integrate both will you have a life that has a solid foundation and also opens doors to the magical. Be the bridge builder, not the one standing on the battlefield. My child, love is a great source of energy. It is the deepest nature of life, and this is where reason is often most completely and beautifully defeated. You often see people use reason to analyze love. This person is not right for me. This relationship has no future. I should let go. Reason speaks so truly, so logically. But when the person you love walks in, or when a memory of them rushes back, all arguments vanish like smoke. Why is that? Because love does not need a reason. It only needs to be lived once, even if it must break. Love is the most primal emotion. It goes beyond the scope of reason's understanding. Reason was born to protect you from danger, to ensure safety, but love is complete dedication. The willingness to accept being hurt for something greater. It is the breaking of every safety barrier that reason worked so hard to build. When you love, you are no longer the calculator. You are a creature of pure emotion. You are willing to give without needing to receive. You are willing to forgive mistakes. That reason would never be accepted. This very illogic, this willingness to be broken, is the most beautiful thing about humanity. Reason looks at love and sees risk. Emotion looks at love and sees the meaning of existence. So do not consider this defeat as weakness. Consider it a reminder. It reminds you that you're not just a logic machine. You're a being capable of deep feelings, and that ability to feel is the only path to touch the soul of another. Let reason rest. When love appears later, when the emotional wave has passed, reason will return to help you heal and grow. But right now, when the heart is beating strongly, let emotion speak its true voice, because that is the language of the soul. My child, if love is the explosion of emotion, then heartbreak is the greatest lesson for reason. When your heart aches from breakdown, from betrayal, from loss, your reason has a rare chance to truly mature. Each pain is a classroom you never wanted to attend, but one you needed to go through to awaken. Emotion causes us to fall. The blindness of emotion, the absolute trust, the uncontrolled passion led you to the wound. But thanks to this, reason learns how to stand up without being arrogant. Mature reason is not cold reason, but more gentle reason. After the pain, reason learns humility. It learns that no plan is perfect, that humans are impermanent, and that putting excessive faith in anything external carries risk. The maturity of reason is not that it knows how to stay away from love, but it learns how to love more wisely. The old reason said, I will not love again, so I won't get hurt. The mature reason says, I know I will be hurt again, but I will love with open eyes, accepting the impermanence of this relationship. Reason forged by the fire of suffering is not meant to become the enemy of emotion, but to become its true protector. It does not protect you from emotion, but protects you from acting on blind emotion. It does not prevent you from feeling sad, but it prevents you from destroying yourself. Because of that sadness, it does not prevent you from feeling angry, but it prevents you from speaking words you will regret. So be thankful for the past pains. They have been the strictest teachers of your reason. My child, I want you to discard a thought that is causing you extreme suffering, the thought of winning. When you want reason to win over emotion, you are choosing one side of yourself. And whichever side wins, you will still lose. If reason wins, you will live a soulless life, sterile. Disconnected from your emotional truth, you will win the war, but you will lose the joy of living. You will be a lonely king on the throne of logic. If emotion wins, you will live in uncontrolled chaos, swept away by every storm of anger, fear, and passion. You will have many experiences, but you will have no peace. You will be a boat adrift on the ocean of emotion. Your body, your heart, your soul is one single temple, built for both of these guests. There is no separation between them in my eyes. They were born to complement each other, not to oppose. This conflict is not a war between two entities. It is a lack of understanding about your own unity. When you realize that both reason and emotion are you, are different expressions of the same life energy, you will stop fighting. Instead of asking, who wins? You will ask, how can these two friends work together? And the answer is total presence. When you are fully present, you see reason thinking, and you see emotion feeling. You are not the thought. You are not the emotion. You are the observer, the space where both can appear and vanish. When you choose the position of the observer, you have stepped out of the war. You do not need to win. You only need to be. That is the state of enlightenment, where all opposition is reconciled and you achieve absolute peace. My child, this is the final key I want to give you about dealing with emotion. Emotion does not need to be controlled. It only needs to be recognized. Every emotion, whether it is burning anger or extreme happiness, has one single nature. They are impermanent. They come, stay for a while, and must go. They are like clouds in the sky of your mind. The problem for humans is that when an emotion comes, the cloud, reason immediately jumps in and says, this is my emotion. I must hold on to it if it is joy, or I must fight it if it is sadness. It is this act of intervention, this clinging and resisting by reason, that keeps the emotion longer than necessary. When you want to control emotion, you are trying to stop a passing cloud with your bare hands. You will get tired, and the cloud will still move. According to its natural law, liberation comes when you look at emotion. As you watch a cloud drift, it will pass. Without effort. Use reason to do one thing only. Recognize and name it. When anger comes, just say softly, anger is present in me. I see this heat. I allow it to exist and to pass. When sadness comes, you say, sadness is present. I feel this heaviness. I do not need to do anything with it. In this way, your reason has fulfilled its highest role. Becoming the light of awareness. Reason does not fight, does not interfere, does not judge. It only shines. When emotion feels recognized, it will no longer need to scream. To get attention. It will complete its natural cycle of life and drift away gently. You will find that as soon as you let go of the effort to control, emotion will freely let go of you. This is the path to liberation from all suffering caused by emotion. My child, you have walked a long journey to understand yourself. You asked me why reason always loses to emotion. Now, you know that it is not defeat, but a confusion of roles. Reason teaches you to live. It provides safety, order, and the ability to survive in this physical world. Emotion teaches you to feel it brings meaning. Love, connection, and the truth of the impermanent nature of all things. Both are essential for your journey. You do not need to choose one side to be happy. And I only teach you how to look at both without choosing sides. Become the peaceful and silent observer. When reason speaks, smile and listen. When emotion explodes, embrace it with compassion. Do not give them energy through judgment or resistance. Remember what I said. Emotion is not the enemy of reason, but the memory of the soul. Before the mind was born, when you stop wanting to win yourself, reason and emotion will return to one. They will merge into wisdom and compassion. And that, my child, is when you truly understand what peace is. Peace is not the absence of emotion, but the presence of love and understanding for every emotion that passes through. Go forth and live with this truth. You are liberated.